right, we're back in the building. Back in the building.
See,
Right.
I told you it was my computer. It's fucking weird.
All right, so I'm gonna pull these documents up and get straight into this right here.
All right.
Abduction 1. 28. Convention on the Civil Aspects of International Child Abduction 1. Concluded the 25th of October 1980. The state signatory to the present convention, firmly convinced that the interests of children are of paramount importance in matters relating to their custody, desiring to protect children internationally from the harmful effects of their wrongful removal or retention, and to establish procedures to ensure their prompt return to the state of their habitual residence, as well as to secure protection for rights of access, have resolved to conclude a convention to this effect, and have agreed upon the following provisions. Chapter 1. Scope of the Convention. Article 1. The objects of the present convention are a. To secure the prompt return of children wrongfully removed to or retained in any contracting state, and b. To ensure that rights of custody and of access under the law of one contracting state are effectively respected in the other contracting states. Article 2.
Awesome.
Contracting states shall take all appropriate measures to secure within their territories the implementation of
Myself, that's what you call full faith and credit, where it says um, to secure prompt whatever I said ensure the rights of custody. It says each one contracting state are eventually respected in another contracting state. The laws of one contracting state are effectively respected in the other contracting state. So basically, each state will acknowledge the other state's laws. You know what I'm saying? So that's what full faith and credit is. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when people be talking about full faith and credit, yo, I got a bond. This works, whatever. Man. So you think. That's what something competitive about. And then when you get into international law, see international law is like international full faith and credit, where each nation is going to acknowledge the laws of other nations. You know what I'm saying? So it goes beyond just a state to state thing, it's a nation to nation thing. International.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
That's really awesome.
implementation of the objects of the convention. For this purpose, they shall use the most expeditious procedures available. Article 3. The removal or the retention of a child is to be considered wrongful where a. It is in breach of rights of custody attributed to a person, an institution, or any other body, either jointly or alone, under the law of the state in which the child was habitually resident immediately before the removal or retention, and b. At the time of removal or retention those rights were actually exercised, either jointly or alone, or would have been so exercised but for the removal or retention. The rights of custody mentioned in subparagraph A above may arise in particular by operation of law, or by reason of a judicial or administrative decision, or by reason of an agreement having legal effect under the law of that state. 1. This convention, including related materials, is accessible on the website of the Hague Conference on Private International Law, www.hcch.net, under Conventions, or under the Child Abduction section. For the full history of the convention, see Hague Conference on Private International Law. Actis et Doc.
The Hague Convention. Now, I've been told about the Hague Convention, and they say, well, we're not supposed to deal with the Hague Convention.
They say we're not?
Yeah, I've been told that. I heard that, you know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is that because the Hague is 48 countries that are all unified under Admiralty law. You know what I mean? So
the Hague, yeah. So you always want it to be the non-Hague, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
Right. But you know what though? But now that I understand why they say that is because, like, and I heard that from Joanna Johnston, who turned out to be a fraud. And I used to defend her, but now I realize no, she's a fraud. But anyway.
Yeah, I started waking up like six or 7 years ago, and Juana was one of the first ones like I watched.
Yeah, right.
And now I look back at her, and she's still saying the same shit and do the same thing that she was 6 years ago, and hasn't moved anywhere or got any further accomplished. So that's a sign right there. What do you think about Yusuf L?
Yusuf L, he be dropping knowledge on stuff. But like I said, man, a lot of these people are into the UCC thing and all of that. And
Yeah.
like I say, man, that whole secure party creditor thing. Like for example, even King was breaking down one day about how we got to realize, like like when we take these documents to Department of State and we file them with the Department of State, they have you fill out that DS-46 form or DS-47 form, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then they say, oh, what country do you want to you usually put Jamaica or Taiwan or something like that.
Yeah.
Now the science with that is that what we're actually doing is we're taking that birth certificate or that bond or that and once you deposit these documents with these depositories, that's what they are, depositories. They take your original, because they always take your original and give you a copy, right? So they take your original, or like when you go to the clerk and you file with the clerk, they take your original with your wet ink signature so they can monetize and securitize then monetize your documents. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say we got to stop handing over them all our documentation. Stop doing that. We're gonna use the website, place it up there, and be like,
Yeah.
that's where you go to get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's signed on, so you ain't gonna be able to copy and paste and try to scan in your system. Oh well, it's not wet ink signature anymore because we had to scan into our system. You ain't gonna monetize my document in no kind of way. Not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's smart.
You know what I'm saying? So see, that's why Facebook be taking my shit down. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, yo, this guy here, man, he's giving up too much. Come on. Why doesn't he go back to talking about all that stuff he used to talk about? Another, it's called elevation, growth and development. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so let me finish reading this. Let me play some more.
Actis et Documents de la 14e Session, 1980. Tome III. Child Abduction. ISBN 9012-03616-X. 481. Article 4. The Convention shall apply to any child who is habitually resident in a contracting state immediately before any breach of custody or access right.
Okay, so they're saying that this convention or this convention shall apply to any child in any contracting state. So if any of the states that you were in, if they are a part to this convention, then these laws will apply to them.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
So I guess maybe you should look up whatever state you're in and see if they acceded to this. And usually, if it's in the United States, usually the whole United States is probably acceded to this. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking, right? Yeah, I was just thinking that they should be a part of it because it's in the United States and
So so like I was saying, that when before I was thinking, I said because I was finding all those things for the certificate for Virginia, I've seen one for California, the one for District of Columbia. I said, damn, I better make sure it's one for New York. I'm looking at all these other ones. Shit, I'm in New York. God damn it, I need to make sure that shit is good for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there trying to help everybody else. I'm like, yo, let me make sure my shit is good. Like, but it should be uniform for all the union states. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, I messaged you in there about your website. I can help you with that.
Actual fact. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know how long you're gonna be up or whatever, but after we finish this, we can go into that, or like tomorrow, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can meet back up tomorrow. I don't know what time is it where you are.
I was about to ask you. Right now, it's 3:25 in the morning for me.
Yeah, it's 2:35 here.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, but that ain't nothing for me because I'm a night bug anyway. I'm up. That's what I do. I'm up all night doing my study, doing my documents, doing my. That's what I do. I sleep in the morning and I'll be up all night doing my thing. I'm on that nighttime creative mode. You know what I'm saying? Because they say you go into a mode of creativity that happens during the night. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, because during the day, like like Ela Africa broke down, he was saying like, you got in the brain you have melatonin and serotonin. During the day, you have a secretion of serotonin because that's why you're serious. Serotonin. That's why you're serious during the day. And then at night, your brain secretes the melatonin, which makes you mellow, and that's why you get relaxed and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So you got the serotonin and the melatonin, which balances out the brain. So at night, although the melatonin is supposed to be kicking in, I'm supposed to go to sleep. I use that melatonin to go deep into my pineal gland and just go into my zone. And
Yeah.
my little friend here is my aide as well. But yeah, then we get it in. That's how I get it in.
Yeah, we just ran out, so you're like teasing me. Seriously. We've got the good old black resin stuff right now.
I need to travel to different states, try different stuff, man. They got this whole generic mess all out where I'm at, man. You know how nowadays they got all these different names. Oh, this is blueberry this and cherry this, and man, I'm not no young kid. Don't try to bedazzle me with all these names. Is the shit good? Yes or no?
Is it fire or not?
It's decent, you know what I'm saying? It's decent, but like I said, if I go back to like Long Island, where I'm originally from, and go back to those like hood towns, I could find like real weed, not this generic strand shit. Because people gotta understand that all these strand different weeds and shit, every time you reproduce a strand, it loses its potency.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? If you've been smoking some shit that's been around for a while, that strand is probably weak as hell by now. You know what I'm saying? That's why. But anyway, we'll go into the herbology study another time.
Yeah, we like to grow like before. I think that's kind of why we were made a target, just because we were growing everything, like everything we were growing from the ground, and all our meat came from all our animals that we had there. We weren't really buying anything at the store. We went to the store maybe once a month to get like big bags of flour and sugar and like the old times.
Right.
So
right. See, they need more people like that, living on the land, living off the land, living naturally, how nature intended. You know what I'm saying?
It's amazing. We did it for 2 years, and it is so amazing. I miss that life so much because they pushed us back into society, and I could give anything just to go back on the land. Like that's where I belong. It's so peaceful, and you become so close, like with the trees. Everything is alive. It's just special. It's a very special connection that you can make with the earth that you can't when you're in society, when there's just concrete and big buildings and like loud shit. When you're in the nature, it's calm and you can think and you can it's kind of like decalcifying, So anyways. I just looked up and Arkansas is a part of the Hague Convention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the building.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna use this for sure. This is a really good find.
Yeah, actual fact. When I was looking up, I was like, yeah. But now they're gonna state in here how like it has to be certain reasons found in and and like they only give a little bit of stuff in there. I'm like, well, damn, but you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay. Cool.
Right. The convention shall cease to apply when the child attains the age of 16 years.
Oh, what?
Article 5. For the purposes of this convention, A, rights of custody shall include rights relating to the care of the person of the child and, in particular, the right to determine the child's place of residence.
Right, like the same thing they do in court. They try to figure out what's the best interest of the child. You know what I'm saying? But see, understand when they use that term interest, they're talking about an economic interest as far as their all of that. You know what I'm saying? So talk about, but they try to make it seem like, oh, the best interest of the child, like they really care about the child. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I found out is child. That's not even what we're supposed to call them. Like
Right.
that's just the title on the birth certificate. We're not persons. We're not child. I'm not a mother. He's not a father. That's their title they've given on a fucking piece of paper. You know what I mean? So whenever I'm with them, I don't ever try to say child. They're my heirs. They're my offspring, my beneficiaries. You know, I use that language rather than, and when they say child, I say like, hey, can you define that, please?
Actual
What
fact.
does that word mean? You know?
Yeah, be like, yo, my offspring shall be referred to as my heirs. Yeah, you're right. That's right.
Yeah. And they look at me like I'm fucking crazy because the people that I'm dealing with have like a brain probably this small.
Because you're expressing trust law. You know what I'm saying?
It's 2:42. But yeah.
We're showing that to you. It shows that, you know what I mean? All right, so.
Okay.
B. Rights of access shall include the right to take a child for a limited period of time to a place other than the child's habitual residence.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 2. Central Authorities. Article 6. A contracting state shall designate a central authority to discharge the duties which are imposed by the Convention upon such authorities. Federal states with more than one system.
It said the contracting state shall designate a central authority to discharge the duties which are imposed by the convention upon such authorities. So, in other words, like if you go to the sheriffs and be like, yo, according to this convention, blah 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 blah, it states that I have the right to, like I said, the right to access shall include the right to take my child for a limited time. Well, they say a limited time. I won't take my kids forever, but anyway, a limited time to a place other than the child's habitual residence. So wherever the child is staying now, I have the right to take my child from that place. You say for a limited time, but goddamn it, you gotta find me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, other than its habitual residence. So wherever they're living at now, I have the right to take them from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it says that the contracting state shall designate the authority to do so. So in other words, you can contact the sheriffs, which are the highest authority in the land as far as legal concerns. They will go and get your child. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's who took them. And I'm dealing with 4 counties of crooked sheriffs, and I contacted the Sheriff's Association in the state of Arkansas, and they won't acknowledge me. They're all ignoring my paperwork now. So, and my correspondence to them was, hey, I'm here. I'm a woman, and I expect you to, I bind you to your oath of office and I put the code, like everything that they're supposed to follow, the Constitution. Hey, this is your job. These are your duties, your fiduciary duties that you have to me, and you're obligated to me. And they did not respond. And so they're a part of the problem. When I was in jail, I had GSA forms, the bid bond, security bond, performance bond, payment bond. I had all of those with me, and they ignored them. They wouldn't take them from me. So it's crazy because all these people are, like you said, the sheriff, they're the highest law around, and they're the ones that are fucking us over. So I don't think I can go to the sheriff.
It's crazy. You might have to I mean,
the marshals.
Yeah, maybe them, and like I say, the attorney general and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because but like I said, you're gonna have to address them with this international paperwork, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, you were talking about getting a server, someone to take it to them physically.
Right, stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or use like or like I said, I'm gonna put you onto this information as far as a post. Well, you already know how to do that stuff, like sending your mail with personal stamps and all that, and you know what I mean. So yeah.
I've sent like $3,000 worth of free mail, but now it's just coming back to me. So all my shit's coming back.
Well, another thing I realized too, I learned that when you send things, always send things with the name of your trust on the document, like as far as the address.
Okay.
With the name of your trust, because they have a fiduciary obligation to accept all trust documents or all trust instruments. So if they deny it, and it has the name of your trust on it, then now you can like I was saying with the UPU, you can contact the UPU. They like the correspondence police and shit, and be like, "Yo, hey, you're supposed to accept this. Why didn't you accept this?" That's breach of trust laws when they don't
Okay.
when they don't accept your trust instruments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So write everything in the name of your trust. You know what I mean?
I hadn't mailed my trust to myself yet because I haven't got a private post office box. Does it matter?
I mean, not necessarily, you know what I mean? Due to the fact that, like I say, you're mailing it to yourself and then you're keeping it sealed. So now,
Okay.
whenever a judge opens it, like you bring it before a court and the judge opens it, then they can see that, well, regardless of the mailing and all that, da da da. In fact, he may need that so that he can accept it before his whatever. And then once he examines what's in the paperwork, which he has to examine, then he'll see, okay, whatever your state in, boom, 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 boom. He'll start reading your fiat and everything and da da da. You gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because now that becomes evidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, prima facie.
Right. Thanks.
System of law or states having autonomous territorial organizations shall be free to appoint more than one central authority and to specify the territorial extent of their powers.
Wow.
If a state has appointed more than one central authority, it shall designate the central authority to which applications may be addressed for transmission to the appropriate central authority within that state.
Right. So in other words, you transfer the case to the proper venue. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
State. Article 7. Central authorities shall cooperate with each other and promote cooperation amongst the competent authorities in their respective states to secure the prompt return of children and to achieve the other objects of this convention.
Hmm?
In particular, either directly or through any intermediary, they shall take all appropriate measures, a, to discover the whereabouts of a child who has been wrongfully removed or retained.
Ooh, yeah, that's great.
Right. I like that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I was saying before, I just thought about it as far as with the Hague Convention. See, a lot of people that deal with like the UCC and all that commercial activity, they wanted they um don't want to deal with the Hague because the Hague Convention is dealing with nations that are ceded to certain conventions, and like I say, nations is dealing with nationality. So a lot of people, so people that are dealing with nationality, they would more so want to deal with the Hague. But those who are just dealing in commercial activity or whatever, they don't want to deal with the Hague because you have to be of a nation, and all that commercial activity. I'm a secure party creditor. You just a single individual, a person, so you're not necessarily a nation or representing a living person or a living being of a living status. You know, so you don't represent a people or a land or a jurisdiction of law or anything like that. You're just a person in a corporate venue, a
Yeah.
commercial venue. You know what I'm saying? So all that UCC stuff don't get you no status as far as nationality. So that's why they don't deal with the Hague. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Retained. B. To prevent further harm to the child or prejudice to interested parties by taking or causing to be taken provisional measures. C. To secure the voluntary return of the child or to bring about an amicable resolution of the issues. D. To exchange, where desirable, information relating to the social background of the child. E. To provide information of a general character as to the law of their state in connection with the application of the convention. F. To initiate or facilitate the institution of judicial or administrative proceedings with a view to obtaining the return of the child and, in a proper case, to make arrangements for organizing or securing the effective exercise of rights of access. G. Where the circumstances so require, to provide or facilitate the provision of legal aid and advice, including the participation of legal counsel and advisors. H. To provide such administrative arrangements as may be necessary and appropriate to secure the
Like that.
safe return of the child. I. To keep each other informed with respect to the operation of this convention, and, as far as possible, to eliminate any obstacles to its application.
That's
Chapter
awesome.
Return of Children. Article 8. Any person institution, or other body claiming that a child has been removed or retained in breach of custody rights may apply either to the central authority of the child's habitual residence or to the central authority of any other contracting state for assistance in securing the return of the child.
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier. I said maybe you might have to move out of that state, because if those sheriffs are getting on that grimy shit in that state and they know who you are, so they're gonna give you the hardest of time. So you may have to like maybe move to another state, or like just seek residence in another state. Like, you know, have some mail come into a house in another state for 30 days. That's proof of residence. Then
I didn't know that.
then just try to contact the sheriffs in that state and make them aware of your documentation. Have this convention and information in your documentation, and let them know, like, listen, I'm trying to invoke the rights of this convention and so forth. And I've had, I tried to contact, you ain't even got to mention some stuff in other county, because they might be like, oh, let's contact them, see why they didn't want to help you. Then they'll tell them all this terrorist, belligerent stuff about you, and then try to mess up your, you know what I mean? So just don't even tell them all that stuff. Just be like, listen, I'm trying to, get my kids, I'm training, same situation, and, try to get sheriffs in another county. Because as it says, any person, institution, or body claiming that the child has been removed. Now, the other day when King was talking about that's why we got to form institutions and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So that we can, bring our children under our institution. So now, on another bill, I'll show you about the I-9 form with the IRS, and how after you get your international status and all that, then you could come back into the state and start a nonprofit organization through the IRS, get your tax exemption, start a charitable organization, and then bring your children as beneficiaries of that charitable organization. And then you can start making
like the 501(c)(3).
No, not that.
Okay, good.
But more so just a non-profit organization. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. Or a faith-based organization. Like Keith has a faith-based organization, so his faith-based organization will be tax exempt. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, something like that, you know what I mean? And then that way, like I said, you make your children beneficiaries of that organization. So now when you start writing your documentation, also, it's no longer as an individual, you're writing it in the name of your nonprofit organization. And so,
okay.
So now,
that's a good idea.
And also, like I said, my international organization, I define it as a divine institution. You know what I'm saying? So it's a divine institution. As you see, like right here, we're right now in the Universal Temple. Right now, we're speaking on divine things. As far as with the will and everything. And different other things we're building on, as far as information and education and things of that nature. So like. This is by divine institution. This is what I do at the Universal Temple. You know what I'm saying? And we offer services to help the people and things of that nature. So I'm just building all of that and add that. So now when I start doing all this stuff, it's going to be in the name of my international organization.
Smart. Very good idea.
Child. The application shall contain A. Information concerning the identity of the applicant, of the child, and of the person alleged to have removed or retained the child. B. Where available, the date.
Okay, so I will say, so they said the application shall include, so this is stuff you're going to include in the application, or your declaration that you attach to the application or whatever.
Date of birth of the child. C. The grounds on which the applicant's claim for return of the child is based. D. All available information relating to the whereabouts of the child and the identity of the person with whom the child is presumed to be. The application may be accompanied or supplemented by E. An authenticated copy of any relevant decision or agreement. F. A certificate or an affidavit.
Right. So in other words, whatever the court decision was that said, okay, now we're going to put these children in the custody of so-and-so, you're going to attach that with this. Because what you're doing is, with this application, this is like a counterclaim on that court decision. And see, now this is I'm so glad it came to that right there, because this is real powerful. what you're attaching this application you're attaching to the court decision. This is now gonna change the it's gonna add what you call an adhesion. It becomes an adhesion to the initial contract. So the contract was first the decision that they made. Oh, we're gonna hand this child into the custody of so and so. So you take that paperwork and attach it to this application and say, well, according to this convention, these children were wrongfully taken, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? You fill out all this da da da, you know, all the stuff they ask you or whatever, attach that to it, and now it becomes a matter of the international law, which this is implicating, overriding the decision of the state courts, which is a colorable court anyway.
Right.
Okay? Which
Yeah,
really,
it's just all about taxes.
right, and they're really not operating under real law, it's color of law. So now, when you get real international private law to back you, that's gonna smash that state shit. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna have to act in accord with the real law. You know what I'm saying? Because they already know that they're not acting. They see, these courts already know everything they're doing is BS. But
Yeah.
but until you go to the higher ups, they're gonna do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
actually, the reality is actually the higher ups actually gave them the authority to do so. But like I said, it's all about how the system is designed. So you got the state, you got the federal acting like the father, you got the state acting like the mother, and then the county is taking wardship over the children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you got to step over the county, the state, and the federal, and get into international law and be like, yo, I'm granddaddy. Granddaddy is here now. I'm telling father, mama, and the child what it is. I'm telling the federal, state, and the county what it is. This is international law now. International law is in the building. So now this is what it is. You know what I mean? All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to get there above their level, but I didn't think like you. That's way better.
That is wrong.
Yeah.
Affidavit emanating from a central authority. A. Any person, institution, or other body claiming that a child has been removed or retained in breach of custody rights may apply either to the central authority of the child's habitual residence or to the central authority of any other contracting state for assistance in
Any other contracting state.
Right.
A. Information.
Right. That's how I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you might have to go to another state and then get assistance from their sheriffs because they're not helping you in your state because we already got all that going on and whatnot.
Yeah.
Information concerning the identity of the applicant, of the child, and of the person alleged to have removed or retained the child. B. Where available, the date of birth of the child. C. The grounds on which the applicant's claim for return of the child is based. D. All available information relating to the whereabouts of the child and the identity of the person with whom the child is presumed to be. The application may be accompanied or supplemented by E. An authenticated copy of any relevant decision or agreement. F. A certificate or an affidavit emanating from a central authority or other competent authority of the state of the child's habitual residence, or from a qualified person concerning the relevant law of that state. G. Any other relevant document. Article 9. If the central authority, which receives an application referred to in Article 8, has reason to believe that the child is in another contracting state, it shall directly and without delay transmit the application to the central authority of that contracting state and inform the requesting central authority or the applicant, as the case may be.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know what I mean? See what I'm saying? See how on the international level you get all this assistance.
Yeah.
On the state level, you gotta go here and there, contact this person, that person. No, not him. Go to this person. Oh no, over there. Like you got you running all over like a chicken with a head cut off. Man, I'm not doing all of that, man. Tired of that, man.
No. Yeah, and that's what's awesome is because if I get it to this state, since they're not accepting my mail, then another state can send it to them. for me.
Right.
That was perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Relief, right? When I was reading this too, I was like, word? Okay, yeah, man.
Yeah. When did you find this?
Actually, I came across these documents a long time ago too, and but I didn't understand them the way I understand them now. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I met you for a reason. This is awesome. Thank you so much. Wow. I would have I don't know if I'd ever find this.
Because I was like, you know, this, oh man, it's just so much, man. It's just, you know, but yeah, let's go on.
B. Article 10. The central authority of the state where the child is shall take or cause to be taken all appropriate measures in order to obtain the voluntary return of the child. Article 11.
It's awesome.
The judicial or administrative authorities of contracting states shall act expeditiously in proceedings.
Expeditiously in proceedings for returning the child. So they ain't playing. They coming to get them. They coming to get them kids.
Yeah.
Saying like what the state did. What? Okay, we got you. Don't worry about it. We got you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Coming to the rescue. You know what I'm saying? Go get the kids. Word.
Proceedings for the return of children. If the judicial or administrative authority concerned has not reached a decision within 6 weeks from the date of commencement of the proceedings, the applicant or the central authority of the requested state, on its own initiative, or if asked by the central authority of the requesting state, shall have the right to request a statement of the reasons for the delay.
That's awesome.
If is received by the central authority of the requested state, that authority shall transmit the reply to the central authority of the requesting state, or to the applicant, as the case may be.
Right. So you know how you be like, yo, you were trying to contact this person and how they didn't respond to you and da-da-da and all of that? Nah, you're going to get your response.
Yeah, that's awesome.
6 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of feel like I got a little bit of hope. You know, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I hope so too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to say that sarcastically, but like, you know, because I just know, man, they still gonna try to give you a hard time. You know what I'm saying? And especially even now, now they're gonna be like, damn, how did she find this out? Hot for real? Oh man, now we got to deal with all of this.
Yeah, they're gonna be really mad.
Yeah, you know.
All I've done is just make them mad.
Yeah, but fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, that's why I say, man, it's like this system is inhumane. Like, how do you do this to people's children? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just have like heart is just no care is just out the window. It's just not even a factor. It's all about it's just business to them. And they try to and they justify themselves every day that, well, this is just business. And well, you know, because like for example, like they don't know everybody's in, you know, actual situation. All they know is what people come before the court and say. So, you know,
what a cop writes on a piece of paper.
Right. Oh, and speaking of that too, right? I was building with this dude earlier. And see, another thing is people be scared, man, to stand up and speak for themselves. He talked about this dude. He put a video out earlier, and he said something had happened to the police had jumped on him, da da da. And he had posted the video, but he got to go to court for something. And he said he had lost it or whatever. And he was trying to see if anybody still had it in the thing and if they could sentence him or whatever. Da da da. I called the brother up like, yo, listen, I'm gonna give you some legal game on how you could help fight this case, whatever. You know, and I put him on to a whole bunch of stuff, and then later on he did this live, and he talked about how you got to go down to the Piggly Wiggly and get something to drink or whatever. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to drop this knowledge on you so you can win your case. Yo, Muhammad, all right, man. Do you? And then he just cut his live off. I'm like, whatever, nigga. Run down to the Piggly Wiggly and go get your beer, and then go to court tomorrow and get locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, man. Because you don't want to stand for yourself. You don't want to stand your square. You think that video camera. You think that video they're gonna actually let be admissible in court? No, the judge is just going to deny it. And I try to tell him because I went through a same situation like that where they were trying to accuse me of something. I'm like, yo, you can check the cameras. but they didn't want to let the camera be brought into as evidence. And she was like, oh well, I seen the request for the cameras. I'll probably deny it. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, wow, for real? How you gonna deny that? That's the evidence to prove my innocence. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But they don't care. They like, no, we want what they said to stand. You know what I'm saying? So, what I told them though is that police statements are not admissible as evidence in court. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because um, they are only a third party complainant, if any, not even an eyewitness. Because
They can't be.
if the police have any eyewitness evidence to the committing of a crime, then that means you was right there and you seen it. Why didn't you arrest me? So
That's
that
right.
means so you have no eyewitness evidence of any crime that I committed. All you can do is take a statement of someone that called you and made an accusation that I committed a crime. You were not there and you did not witness anything. So therefore, but see now this is how they try to trap you up. They allow the cop to come before the court and make his statement.
They did that. They did that.
But the thing is though, what you do is don't entertain their statements. Don't question them and don't ask them anything because because they're gonna ask you, oh, do you wish to object to anything they said or ask any questions? Would you like to take them on the stand and question the witness? First of all, they're not a witness because they didn't witness anything.
Yeah, that's right.
They are a third party complainant, if anything. You know what I'm saying? And all they did was write down a police report and give the person that made the report a copy. That's all they did. They didn't witness anything. So they're not a witness. I don't need to question him as a witness. And like when I was at the case, I didn't say all that. I realized this extra stuff now. But during the case, I stood on the basic premise that, and I kept repeating. I said, Your Honor, I'm aware that I've come to I've been informed that police reports are not admissible as evidence in court. And I said, so therefore, I don't wish to ask them any questions, basically, or entertain their statements. And then I said, I see that you're taking note, Your Honor. So I'm good. I don't wish to ask them any questions. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, the judge said something about. He said, "Okay, Mr. Hardy, we're going to deduct the statements made, but and he didn't say those exact words, but he said basically we're going to deduct those statements from the report or whatever." And when he said the word deduct, I didn't know what that word meant, so I just got on my square and started listening real hard. But as you learn in English class, if you don't know what a word means, you pay attention to the surrounding words in the sentence so you can get an idea of what that word means. You know what I mean? So basically, I just started listening to what he was saying, and I realized that okay, deduct means that he's basically going to remove those whatever words they made from the statement. He's going to, how they say, strike that from the record. He's going to strike it from the record, basically. You know what I mean? So basically, like I said, their statements are not. Oh, so yeah. Once you question the police, like say you start asking questions and being like, oh, so and whatever. Don't even do that because once you do that, you now contract with them. Remember, it's about offer and acceptance. If the police offer a statement, you don't have to accept it by entertaining it because once you entertain it, that means you accept it and contracted with them. So now,
oh my gosh.
now you just made the police statement part of the evidence in the case because you entertained it. So that's why I just told the judge in a roundabout way that basically whatever they say is not admissible in court as evidence. And I didn't say at the time, and they weren't an eyewitness, but now that I know, I would, and the next time I'll say, and they weren't an eyewitness to anything that took place. So therefore, no, Your Honor, I don't wish to question them or ask them any questions. And on top of that, I see that you're taking notes. So nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't wish to ask any questions. So now basically, I actually did just object to whatever they said in a roundabout way. But I didn't technically say that I'm about to technically answer to them or ask them any technical questions. I just made a statement to the judge to let him know that basically their statements are not admissible and what they saying they're not a witness anyway. So no, I don't wish to contract with them. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Yeah. So
So
I think that I made that mistake. We only appeared one time, and it was by Zoom whenever, and it was just a phone call even. And they were having like the first meeting when we got out of jail over our babies. And we couldn't see him or anything. And the police officer got on the stand, I guess. And all we did the whole time was just ask questions. We never made any statements or anything. But like you said, I didn't even think about that. You're contracting with them when you even address them like that. Because like you said, we knew that. That doesn't matter. They're not supposed to take the stand because that's, like you said, a third party. They're not allowed to do that. But they did it anyway.
right.
Which is absolutely fucking crazy. But we entertained it. I get it now. You just made so much sense. So when I go to this meeting on this tomorrow with them, I don't ask the DHS agents any questions or.
Well, all right. What is this that meeting like about? Like, what is it?
It's a hearing over the babies. It's called a staffing. We haven't been to any of them because we've been just trying to get them through paper. We know that's how you hit them, but they're talking about adopting them out, and they're on their paper. It says that we're not compliant.
Okay. Now, okay. Well, see, now this is the thing too. They could be saying that because you're not like going to these hearings and so forth. Now, and see that situation is a double-edged sword because like if you don't go, then they're just gonna make a decision in your absence and you'll be in default. But then again, if you do go, then you're contracting with them, and then you still kind of in the bed with them, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But
But I could give notice. I was thinking of sending a registered email to everybody because I was going to invite the commissioner to come to the hearing and everybody else that I've been contacting and saying, I'm here by special appearance. I do not wish to contract. You have my property and I can finally talk to you face to face because they're returning my mail. They won't talk to me and they have what's mine and they're giving them vaccinations and they're going to kill them.
Right, and state in the matter that basically you're only here to clarify the matters, not to contract or like you said, stuff like that. And yeah, and you know what too? Also another term instead of special appearance, and I got this from Joanna Johnston, but special visitation.
Okay.
You're here by way of special visitation. Because you're only visiting here and you don't wish to stay here. Just like when you go to court, I'm only visiting here. So I don't wish to be held in custody. So don't try to lock me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm visiting and I'll be leaving. You know what I'm saying? As I came in peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So only here to clarify matters. Okay. I just get nervous.
Not be subject to the matter, but to clarify the matters. Because remember King was telling you about yesterday about the verification, clarification, and stuff like that. If you wrote that down, all of that right there, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
And what you're asking for in return is simply just not legal advice or anything like that, or to make a deal with them, but clarification. You want transparency, disclosure, full disclosure. You know what I mean? Because you know how when you start asking certain questions and they be trying to say, "Oh well, I'm not." Yo, damn. Can you turn your thing down, maybe? I don't know. Getting this feedback in the mic. It's my thing. I just turn it down. Sorry. Yeah, still got that echo. Yeah, you know what it is? Something is wrong with my damn thing anyway. I need to fix the shit. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, what was I saying just before?
We're talking about, you said that I need full disclosure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you know how they be trying to say, oh, well, I can't give you legal advice and all of that when you start asking questions. But like, I'm not asking for legal advice. I'm asking for full disclosure. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wish I would have, had that terminology. I would have threw that in the judge's face because he done told me that so many times. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't give you legal advice. I'm not asking you for legal advice. I'm asking you for disclosure, for transparency. You know what I'm saying? Be straight up with me. Stop trying to hold back information. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I need to file a Freedom of Information Act form just to get the information that I'm entitled to? I mean, come on, man. Being a goddamn Mason, you know what I'm saying? Trying to conceal the truth, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's what their job is to do, you know what I'm saying? So in one way I'm not mad at them, but of course I'm mad because like, man, goddamn it, it's my goddamn children, man. I ain't gonna talk about all that bullshit, all that secret society shit you sworn to and all of that, man. You know what I mean? Just give me a remedy, you know what I'm saying? All right.
Yeah. There has to be a remedy when somebody knows the whole fucking charade and has pulled the veil down and is staring you directly like man to man. You can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And see, but the thing is too, like you put in your documentation, the living cannot contract with the dead. So the science is that they know that you're actually living. So when you come in there stating all this stuff about how you're the living woman and so forth, then they like, well, damn, then we at a standstill because we can't do nothing now. We can't adjudicate on you, and we can't necessarily give you the remedy you asking for because and at least the most they can do is, or what they're supposed to do is dismiss the case, but they don't want to do that because then they'll expose the fraud and let people see that, damn, you can come in here and say that stuff and get the case dismissed. Oh man, they don't want to expose it. So that's why they always try to give you the hardest of time, you know what I'm saying? And give you the runaround and the this and that and da 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 da, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And try to threaten you and intimidate you and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they do too. It's crazy.
So we're gonna go to Article 12.
B. Article 12. Where a child has been wrongfully removed or retained in terms of Article 3, and at the date of the commencement of the proceedings before the judicial or administrative authority of the contracting state where the child is, period of less than 1 year has elapsed from the date of the wrongful removal or retention, the authority concerned shall order the return of the child forthwith. The judicial or administrative authority, even where the proceedings have been commenced after the expiration of the period of 1 year referred to in the preceding paragraph, shall also order the return of the child, unless it is demonstrated that the child is now settled in its new environment. Where the judicial or administrative authority in the requested state has reason to believe that the child has been taken to another state, it may stay the proceedings or dismiss the application for the return of the child. Article 13.
Okay, so it said, hold on, it said it may dismiss if it sees that the child found the child's in another state, it may dismiss the application. But now, didn't it say before they're supposed to just transfer it to the other state or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But maybe you have to start that action or in that other state in order for them to transfer it to maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't just transfer it to some state that they don't know of. They're like, I didn't know you was in Alabama. I didn't know I was supposed to transfer. Oh, you ain't say nothing. I didn't know nothing. Well, what? They got to know, where to send it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I read it wrong.
Notwithstanding the provisions of the preceding article, the judicial or administrative authority of the requested state is not bound to order the return of the child if the person, institution, or other body which opposes its return establishes that a. the person, institution, or other body having the care of the person of the child was not actually exercising the custody rights at the time of removal or retention, or had consented to or subsequently acquiesced in the removal or retention, or b. there is a grave risk that his or her
Pardon. A person, institution, or brother, declare the child, never already existing custody. at the time of the removal retention had considered to the
Return would expose the child to physical or psychological harm, or otherwise place the child in an intolerable situation. The judicial or administrative authority may also refuse to order the return of the child if it finds that the child objects to being returned and has attained an age and degree of maturity at which it is appropriate to take account of its views.
In other words, if the child's at a certain age, it can say, no, I don't want to go, I want to stay with mommy, something like that.
Yeah.
And then it said too, it said something about at the age of 16 or something like that. That this convention like is no longer applicable to them when they're 16 or whatever. So I guess you want to get this done before they're 16, I guess, whatever.
Yeah. Well, none of them are that close yet.
Yeah, right.
They're all still babies. So sweet. It's like my favorite. I love it. Feels like forever. And what's crazy is I'm not the type of woman that takes them to school and takes them and like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad they're away. I've spent every second with them. They've never been away from me. So like ever. It's so hard. So hard. I miss them.
Views. In considering the circumstances referred to in this article, the judicial and administrative authorities shall take into account the information relating to the social background of the child provided by the central authority or other competent authority of the child's habitual residence. Article 14. In ascertaining whether there has been a wrongful removal or retention within the meaning of Article 3, the judicial or administrative authorities of the requested state may take notice directly of the law of, and of judicial or administrative decisions, formally recognized or not in the state of the habitual residence of the child, without recourse to the specific procedures for the proof of that law or for the recognition of foreign decisions, which would otherwise be applicable. Article 15.
Pardon me. The child without recourse to the specific procedure for the proof of the law of the recognition of foreign decisions. Oh, okay, all right. Keep this. It says in asserting whether there has been a wrongful removal or retention within Article 3, the Judicial Administration Authority take directive of the law of the Judicial Administration decision. All right, formally recognizes or not in the state of the habitual residence of the child without recourse, meaning like, this decision can't come back up again without recourse is like similar to like with prejudice.
Yeah.
To the specific procedure for the proof of the law for the recognition of the foreign decision, which would otherwise be applicable. So in other words, meaning the foreign decision was the court decision that the state court made, which would otherwise be applicable. But now that you have this international stuff that you implementing, now without recourse to the specific procedure for the proof of law or for the recognition of foreign decisions which would otherwise apply. So in other words, it's basically saying that the international law is going to overrule the state law or the former decision without recourse. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
they ain't gonna be able to bring it back up again and be like, oh well, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Nah, none of that. It's done.
Yeah, that's great.
Without recourse.
15.
I like that word.
The judicial or administrative authorities of a contracting state may, prior to the making of an order for the return of the child, Request that the applicant obtain from the authorities of the state of the habitual residence of the child a decision or other determination that the removal or retention was wrongful within the meaning of Article 3 of the Convention, where such a decision or determination may be obtained in that state.
Hold up, but I mean, you ain't gonna get the court. You ain't gonna get the court to admit that. Oh, we were wrong. According to Article 3, yeah, we shouldn't have taken these children. We were wrong. Oh man,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They is not gonna do that. They gonna
no way.
They're gonna be like,
No
well,
way.
according to our penal codes or our it says that we're allowed to do according to the Family Court Act. Fuck the family. Man, that dude was always trying to tell me about some Family Court Act. I'm like, yo, but hold on, what about the Constitution? He's like, oh well, we go according to the Family Court Act. I'm like, yo, but I got your oath of office right here. You took an oath to uphold the Constitution. He's like, well, the jurisdiction of the court is the Family Court Act. I'm like, come on, man, an act? Y'all ain't here acting. You know, I didn't say that part, but I'm like, you know what I mean? An act. Y'all ain't here acting.
You know, I always address them as acting. Like every letter that I wrote them, or I'll put like I'll put their name and I'll put who sometimes acts like a clerk.
Yeah.
It probably makes them really mad, but I let them know, like, I know who the fuck you are, and I know you're acting.
Word, though, that's true. Yo, but they do say that though, acting as.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing it says, for the judge, it says acting as, head judge or acting as something like that, whatever.
Judge.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I always address them like that, and I address them by their first name. Like I do not ever call them honorable, or I don't do that, and I'm not disrespectful or ugly to them. I'm just letting them know, like, hey, you're just on my level too.
You're human just like me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'll try to act like all this law shit makes you invincible. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You know, this shit isn't even right in his act in the first place.
Right.
Anyway, let's continue.
Are you getting tired?
Nah, not even. I'm up. You know, you tired? A little bit. All right, it's all good though. Listen, well, I can actually play this faster. Like if you can hear it fast, I'm just trying to play it like at its normal pace so we can hear it clear and go through stuff and break it down. But I'll speed up the pace a little bit and we can get through the document and then we can end this out and we'll start another session,
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
This is good stuff. Like really good stuff.
You wrote down a title for this too, so you can well actually I'm gonna send it to you in the email too, but just while you see this here, you can just write the title down real fast. Convention on the Civil Aspect of International Child Abduction.
I got it written down.
Okay. And then
I was gonna go print it out whenever we were done.
All right, so you know what though? Since you got that, you can kind of read up on the rest of that a little later. I'm gonna share.
Okay.
I'm gonna share this this document here. This is another one. All right, this is statute on the Hague Conference on Private International Law. So this is basically the Hague Convention. You know what I mean? On private international law.
Yeah, this is great.
So also you can let them know that all of this stuff is according to the Hague Convention. Like this up here, this HCCH. I forgot what this stands for. Oh, okay, yeah. Hague Convention or Hague Convention Conference, something like that, or whatever that stands for. But basically, that's where all of this is coming from, though. Whatever. The Hague Convention introduced into force July 15th, 1955. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna read a little bit of this, and
One, Statute of the Hague Conference on Private International Law. Entered into force on the 15th of July 1955. 1. The governments of the countries hereinafter specified, the Federal Republic of Germany, Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Spain, Finland, France, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, Norway, the Netherlands, Portugal, the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and Northern Ireland, Sweden and Switzerland, in view of the permanent character of the Hague Conference on Private International Law, desiring to stress that character, having, to that end, deemed it desirable to provide the conference with a statute, have agreed upon the following provisions. Article 1. The purpose of the Hague Conference is to work.
pardon me. You know what too? As far as with for the Moors, Morocco is one of the countries that acceded to the Hague Convention, and Morocco has a treaty of peace and friendship with with the United States, and which means that's international full faith and credit, which means that they all respect each other's laws. So therefore, even if I were to declare as a Moor, that would be applicable to me even here in the United States of America, because America is treaty with Morocco, Morocco is treaty with the Hague Convention, so that means America is treaty to the Hague Convention, and actually not necessarily, but I'm pretty sure they are, because we you could just type that in and look that up. Is any of the United States treaty to the party to the Hague Convention? I'm pretty sure something pop up, because these countries they mentioned here, like Germany, Austria, Belgium, da da da, Great Kingdom, all that. I don't see United States on here, but pretty sure United States has probably acceded, afterward, later on.
1969, I think. Yeah, it was when the United States joined.
Oh, okay,
pretty
cool.
sure.
Okay, so there we go.
Yeah. I think isn't it a lot? I've heard a lot of people say that Morocco is still like the United States in a way or something.
Yeah, because basically it was like the Sultan of Morocco is who gave like those I guess you say European settlers um, the right to come here and operate in commerce. So
Oh.
the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is the oldest treaty between the United States and any other nation. It's the oldest standing treaty, and those treaties also are part of what's called the Barbary Treaties, and there are many nations acceded to that. So see, so all this is about international law, international agreements. You know what I'm saying? All these different conventions and treaties and da da da. These are all international agreements, which basically establishes international law, and they have private protection. So therefore, hence Hague Convention on Private International Law.
Work for the progressive unification of the rules of private international law. Article 2. 1. Members of the Hague Conference on Private International Law are the states which have already participated in one or more sessions of the conference, and which accept the present statute. 2. Any other state, the participation of which is from a juridical point of view of importance for the work of the conference, may become a member. The admission of new member states shall be decided upon by the governments of the participating states, upon the proposal of one or more of them, by a majority of the votes cast, within a period of 6 months from the date on which the proposal is submitted to the governments.
Right. Remember how, like we were saying with the will, the certificate of will, how you submit it, and then 6 months after you get your ratification and all of that?
Yep.
It's the same process, you know what I'm saying? Same thing.
Okay.
Governments. 3.
See, and all this stuff, and see how this is a different convention, but they still have the same uniform rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I think Keith was saying about how all laws are uniform throughout the land.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard him say that. And it is true because, I mean, the United States code replicates every state code pretty
Right.
much.
Yep,
And CFR and all
I was just
of
thinking,
it.
right. And also too, see how before when I was showing how every state that adopted to the international will, how they all had the same certificate and that same statement in their stuff. They just had a different code for their statute or for their state.
Yep.
Root word of statute, statute. You know what I mean?
Status. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy because I looked up Arkansas and Arkansas doesn't have an international certificate.
Oh, word.
Isn't that weird? That's kind of weird because I've seen it like other states, but
Well, you know what though? You get your instrument and you get it authenticated, which will give it the full faith and credit. So that way it'll be recognized in other states. And remember, you're gonna have to go outside of your state anyway. So once you get that full faith and credit, it'll be recognized in other states anyway.
yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
3. The admission shall become effective upon the acceptance of the present statute by the state concerned. Article 3. 1. The member states of the conference may, at a meeting concerning general affairs and policy where the majority of member states is present, by a majority of the votes cast, decide to admit also as a member any regional economic integration organization which has submitted an application for membership to the Secretary General. References to members under this statute shall include such member organizations, except as otherwise expressly provided. The admission. The statute was adopted during the 7th session of the Hague Conference on Private International Law on the 31st of October, 1951, and entered into force on the 15th of July, 1955. Amendments were adopted during the 20th session on the 30th of June, 2005, the final act, c. approved by members on the 30th of September, 2006, and entered into force on the 1st of January, 2007.
See how they just showed their line of accession. You know what I'm saying? On how everything was, first agreed to, and then this person signed on to it, then it was ratified, then it was amended, and then you know what I mean. So,
Yeah. So is like when I put in my documents, I sent it to this woman on this day, and on this day she received it. And then on this day, is that like an accession kind of, or no?
You're creating you're creating your paper trail, or you're keeping note of all your. That's like the evidence you need for your custodian of records, for your record custodianship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of that's important. And you always want to keep all your receipts and everything for all anything you mail off or whatever the case may be, or being that you do your private mailing, keep record of all of your mailing numbers or stamps or whatever it is that you used to.
I've got one of those mail accounting books. I'd show you. It's, the ones that have the, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
You doing the thing with the mailing scale and all of that too, the meter scale and all of that.
No, I don't weigh it or anything. I just record all of them.
Okay.
And I have the postmaster sign off on it as my witness. It's on a 3877.
Oh, okay, yo. See, so yo, you gotta put me on to all of this stuff right here, man. Because that's part of the process of what I need as well, as far as with the mailing and avoiding jurisdiction and all that.
Yeah, I just wanted everything to be organized, and I wasn't able to do like where people can come and look at my contents first every time or whatever. So I just started getting that mail accounting log. So every time I go in there, the postmaster is my witness. Every time they're signing off and making sure.
That's what's up. So that means that you're doing it official. Like if they signing off on it, that means that you doing it right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hope
Um,
so.
yeah, it gotta be. If, like I said, if they believe me, them postmaster generals, they know exactly what they doing with all that stuff. Like they not stupid. So like I said, believe me, if they're approving your stuff, you gotta be doing it right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hope
Got it.
so.
Cause anybody coming in there not knowing what they doing, they're gonna be like, I'm sorry, sir, I can't sign off on this because they not gonna do like they got international, they can get international fines and all kind of stuff like that for just
Hmm.
letting anybody's stuff go and it ain't right. Like they not gonna do that. They gonna fine tooth comb that. They gonna make sure this stuff is right and exact. Not only right, right and exact. You know what I'm saying? They gonna make sure that's
Yeah.
exact and before they send it off anywhere. So yeah, you got it.
Okay, good. Because man, I was like, I don't know what's going on here,
Now,
but they're
now,
sending it all.
yeah, I was about to say that as far as them sending it back, that's
Yeah.
that's them. See now, actually, now what they do does any of it say return to sender on it when it's sent back to you? Does it say like on the right bottom corner or something return to sender?
No, the sheriff and the clerk always send their shit back and the attorneys and it says return to sender. But the ones that I'm getting are just going like from Oklahoma to Texas to Arkansas, just from Oklahoma to Texas and to our mailbox. They're not even like going to Little Rock where they need to go. It's really weird. I haven't figured it out yet, so
You
I
know
thought
why?
it might.
Because, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I
I,
just didn't know what if I'm doing something wrong, but like you said, I don't think the postmaster would sign off on it. See, when the first time I tried it, I went to the post office and he wouldn't do it. Or they signed off on it and then they kept my mail and the postmaster was going to return my mail. And I sent him an affidavit, or I mean a registered email, and I said, greetings, hi, I introduced myself, and I said, according to the UPU 172.1 and 172.2 or 27, whatever it is right now. But I'm a foreign office of origin. I'm a woman and I'm sending this. So if you're going to refuse my mail, I need an affidavit form of your refusal and why you're refusing it. And so immediately that day, all my packages went out.
What's up? See, like I told you, because they know they have to send your stuff. They got rules and regulations. So
Yeah.
yeah, you put them on point, and you did it the proper way too. You did it. You did that right, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm learning. I realized at first I was pretty belligerent, but when you're kind of like, it was, I mean, I'm still in shock, but
you held them to their own standards, and that's what you
yeah,
have to do, and that's all you have to do, really. See, we be going in there not knowing what their standards are, but knowing what we try to do, and there's really no reason why they shouldn't deny you. But if you don't know, see, that's why knowledge is so important, man. Because if you don't know why, if you don't have knowledge, people will take advantage of you, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's
all
that's
the
the part
time.
about the world. You know what I'm saying? So like so by us not knowing, they're gonna say, well, if she don't know, then I'm not obligated to tell her what she don't know. So you just got to go back to the drawing board and get everything right and come back. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you know,
Yeah.
so that's why they always send you back. They send you back to the drawing board because they're not going to help you. As the judge say, I'm not going to give you legal advice. You know what I'm saying? So
Hire an attorney.
yeah, exactly. Get an attorney.
That's what I heard for like the first 4 months. And so I was like, okay, fine. I'll appoint myself power of attorney. And so I threw a power of attorney on the record and it didn't do shit. But I thought it was going to. I was like, oh my gosh, I found it. Okay.
Yeah,
I think they were just trying to tell me I needed to do this.
yeah, because now that I know what attorney means, as far as in the sense of turning you over, that's like saying, okay, you have the power to turn yourself over to me. Okay, well, thank you for thank you for making it easy for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a revocation of that and I put a hold harmless on there, which was stupid. So I'm trying to get those taken off the record.
Keith was saying something about what was he saying? One of the powerful things he said, the memorandum of obligation, and
Okay.
what was something else he said? Um, it'll come back to me.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at an affidavit of obligation for it's like makes them it puts a lien on them, but I was trying to stay out of the commercial part of it. But
Yeah. As far as with the liens, like I say, you might want to do the liens through your fee schedule because
okay.
like I say, once you make them aware of the fee schedule and they persist to keep on violating, you know what I'm saying? Now it's
Yeah.
like, and also once you notify them in writing, you know what I'm saying? Not just like verbally when they, try to pull up on you or whatever, but but in writing and like as you know, and I see that you executed the act of or process of letting your paperwork proceed you. So you always want to have them on notice, like you said when you were in jail and you said, "Yo, I put this on a public record," and when they looked it up, it was like, "Okay, man, let us let her out of here." You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
they didn't want no repercussions from whatever they know was placed on a public record. You made them aware of it. They looked it up. They seen. And they was like, "Okay, all right, then let's let her out." Because you let your paperwork procedure, you put it on the public notice where they was able to go and find it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We be like I said, we be like, just verbally trying to hold court in the street, you know what I'm saying? Or
Mhm.
with officers, with these cowboys, you know what I'm saying, who are trigger happy and all of that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
For sure.
power drunk, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, what's crazy is so I told you we were arrested on the 27th and then they put in new charges on the October 6th and we didn't know about that charge and then on December 25th he was like the officer appeared out of nowhere and was pointing his gun at us. And I had my newborn, his report even says she had her newborn in her hands and her four children were around her and I pointed my duty weapon at them.
you said your did you say your husband was military or something like that? Is your
Yeah,
husband?
he did
Yeah.
3 tours.
Yeah, see, that's probably why too. Now they're afraid. They like, damn, Anna, she's mad knowledgeable, and her husband's military. God damn, how we gonna fuck with them? So now their only way is to come out, guns blazing. Like, damn, like is that necessary, man? Why can't we handle this in a peaceful manner? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's
That's all I got.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't y'all supposed to, be peace officers? Because it's really since 1935, there's no such thing as police officers anymore. So y'all supposed to be peace officers,
Yeah.
upholding peace. You know what I'm saying? But you want to put out
What's
the peace
right?
instead of uphold the peace. You want to hold that other peace. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. When I was putting documents on the record and that cop came and pulled me out, it was a sheriff. And there was a cop that came before him and he was a city cop. And he knocked on my window and was like, ma'am, I heard that there might be a man in here that has a warrant. And I said, well, you see, it's just me in here. I'm minding my own business. We have nothing to speak about. And he was like, well, I need to know your name. And I said, well, where's the emergency? And he was like, and I said, aren't you a peace officer? And I said, aren't you a public servant? And he said, yeah, I am. And I said, well, in order for me and you to even have any kind of interaction, there must be an emergency for your services. And there's not one. So you have a great day. And he left.
Whoa,
He left.
whoa,
He didn't want
man,
to
that
fuck
was
with
hard
me.
right there. I was.
He
Woo.
he didn't want to mess with me. But then this angry sheriff came out of the county courthouse and he came out there and put his hand in my window and opened the door and drugged me out of the car. And I was like, sir, where is your delegation of authority to do this? Where is Who are
What kind of
you?
state you live in, yo? I mean, New York is
Arkansas.
nuts too, but damn, they don't. And like, you're female too. Like, yo, they just.
Yeah. That's what I said. I told him when I was at the jail, I was like, what if I was pregnant? Like, they slammed me on my stomach and I hit my head on the cement and hogtied me and shit. And I'm like, do you do this to everybody? Like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm upset that all this happened, but it was a learning experience because no matter what you look like, no matter if you're a male or
Yeah,
a man or a woman, they'll do whatever.
yo,
It doesn't matter to them.
I swear that's what I was saying. Like, yo, I even seen the situation with Keith, and then I seen afterwards. I seen like some of the pictures on his thing. He had the black eye, and I'm like, yo, they did that to that man. I'm like, yo, that's why I be like, that's why I'm like, yo, the police is just like really foul because like I didn't have experiences as a black man, and I already know what they do, what they've been doing, the black people. But then when I see it happen to like Caucasian people, I'll be like, yo, they do this shit to their own people. So I just know that they don't give a fuck about me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that shit just intensifies it even more. Like, damn,
Yeah.
they just corrupt no matter what. Like, it don't even matter who you are. Just saying. That's why I'll be like, yo, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, and that was another thing is like I've never ever cared about skin color or anything. And the woman that was in there, so the very first thing they made me do was go to the shower and get naked. And I said, look, my body's my temple. I don't want to do this. I don't even know why I'm here. And they were like, well, you have to take off your clothes and get in the shower. And I said, well, I don't want to. So if you're going to make me do it, then
Pause, Queen.
I'll follow your orders if under duress is what I said.
I feel you, Queen. We can talk about that on another note. I'd rather you keep
Oh,
that.
sorry.
No, it's all good. But you know what I mean. But I
This
feel
girl
you.
was a Latina girl. She should be like my homegirl. I was like, I couldn't believe just how they were acting. It was just crazy.
And the foul part about that is like, when so-called people of color, when we go on like on the police force or whatever, or like they try to enter into certain fields, and we think like, well, maybe I could do some good. You know what I'm saying? The reality is that you're already entering into a system that's already corrupt. So it's like you coming in thinking that you're going to do some good. Like for example, with the black cop, what happens with a lot of times with a black cop, if he's on a force and he's surrounded by predominantly, let's say white cops or whatever, and let's just say it's like one of those. Not because I'm not saying like every single cop is bad, because that's so there are actually some so-called good cops out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the ones that are good, there's like, how to say a bad apple could spoil the bunch. They're like the good apple in a bad bunch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like one or two good or a couple of good ones, and then they're surrounded by all the bad ones. So now, as all the bad ones are doing all the dirt, it's just like Training Day. You see the movie Training Day with Denzel Washington? It's like, yo, you got to get down with the dirt. You got to get some dirt on you, or otherwise we can't trust you. You know what I'm saying? And if we can't trust you, you know what's going to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? You might mess around and end up missing somewhere. So you better get down with the get down. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, you might end up like fam over there. So like yeah. So it's like and then it's like you gotta prove your loyalty. You gotta prove that you're dead. So now the black cop or whatever, he now has to ride around his own community because and it's just what it is. The racist white cops are telling him, yo, bro, it's not about color, man. They running the game on him. Yo, bro, it's not about color, man. We're on the same team, man. I gotta watch your back just like you gotta watch my back. At the end of the day, we're just trying to make it home to our wives. You know what I'm saying, bro? And they try to run that game like, yeah, it's just all about, the force and we're partners and blah, blah, blah. But no, because technically we're not patrolling the Caucasian community doing what we're doing. We're patrolling my community, patrolling the people that I grew up around that look like me. That might be my uncle over there, my aunt, maybe my cousin or something that you want me to run down on and just treat and violate all his rights because I got to prove my loyalty to you. So now the black cop is riding around the hood just waiting for his chance to jump out on any, person of color or whatever to prove his loyalty to his comrades. You know what I mean? So now we looking at the black cop like, yo, brother, what happened? Bro? I thought you were supposed to, yo, what's going on? And it seems like your own people are doing you wrong, and you're like, yo, see, but you know what I'm saying? But it's the system itself, and he just chose to join in, and he thought that he might be able to do some good, but overall he gets turned out, and you have, like I said, you have to do some bad to prove your loyalty to the corrupt system.
Yeah.
And that goes for lawyers, judges, doctors, nurses, and everybody in this whole system. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I did real estate for a while, and I just realized, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing here? You wouldn't believe how real realtors are.
Yeah, I know. Sharks.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah, I did not want to be a part of that.
I used to date this lady. She was a real estate. She did the real estate and everything like that. A real estate agent. And I used to tell her, and like she used to be mad at me. I'm not like trying to step on your way of life or how you get your bread and butter or whatever. But I'm just saying, I already know how the system is. So don't try to make it seem like you doing something good. You charging this man 150,000, but the house only worth 100,000. So where's that other 50,000 going to? Ooh, wow, pretty good investment, huh? But anyway, so and like I say, they're not wrong for that, but like, that was a little steep. Did you take advantage? I mean, I'm just saying. But that's the business though. That's how that is, you know what I mean? And also too, another thing is too, the worth of the house also has equity as well. So, you know what I mean? You got to take that into consideration too. So if you got a good deal on the house that may have some equity in it too, then you got a good bargain. So you might not worry about the 50,000 extra that you paid, but um, you know, you were still able to get a good equitable home. Make sure he tuned out for a sec. He'll click back in. If you're in the game, good. He's going on the. He's going in the club. And then when he's in the love, because in the club, going down, beat up, roll a beat up. He's 54 players, step, hit with a few shells now, walk with his left. 50 hot, loving, they love pop. Rolling, loco, back in the choke. No, we're gonna end this session now. Actually.